Between the 17th of August and the 29th of September 2022, the Burcot and Clifton Hampden Parish Council is holding a statutory consultation on a proposed Neighbourhood Development Order, or NDO, which will pave the way for a new surgery building, 17 new houses, and a wide range of improvements to the parish amenities. In creating this short video, the Parish Council has 4 objectives. Firstly, to explain what an NDO is and why it's needed. Secondly, to explain what has changed since you were last consulted in November 2020 and why those changes have been made. Thirdly, to describe the revised scheme now being proposed. And finally, to invite you to have your say. Details of how you can do this are shown at the end of the film. The Neighbourhood Development Order, NDO, is a planning application submitted by the Parish Council. The future of our community and our wonderful amenities is threatened by the massive developments of 3,500 new houses at Culham and 1,700 new houses at Berrinsfield. And now we must act to make our own community sustainable and protect our amenities. In our first survey in 2014, residents told us the most important things to them were to grow the village, sustain the shop and post office, provide a new surgery, additional assembly space for the school, improvements for the village hall, additional parking, and some new homes for existing residents to downsize and to welcome newcomers. Between November 2020 and March 2021, the Parish Council consulted residents and businesses on proposals for a new surgery building and 25 houses that would deliver what residents had said they wanted. The proposal was for development split over 2 sites known as the allotment site and the paddock site. The consultation confirmed that the residents' views on the need for a new surgery and new homes was unchanged. Most residents were in favour of this scheme. However, concerns were raised about its impact on the openness of the green belt, the type and size of houses, and the effect on neighbouring properties. In response to these concerns, the scheme was revised, reducing the overall number of houses to 20, rebalancing towards 1, 2 and 3 bedroom properties, and fundamentally changing the layout on the allotment site. Following this revision, pre-application advice was sought from South Oxfordshire District Council. Generally supportive of the scheme, they too were mindful of possible impacts on the greenbelt, specifically the amount of space being taken up for development. They also expressed concerns regarding the layout of the paddock site and its effect on the conservation area. Following their comments, the scheme was revised again to the one now proposed. The number of houses has been further reduced to 17. The burial garden moved to the paddock, and the layout of housing on the paddock site adjusted to conform better to the conservation area. This new Neighbourhood Development Order will deliver a new surgery building fit for the 21st century, 17 new homes, mostly 1 to 3 bedrooms, 4 of which will be designated affordable housing, i.e. housing for rent at below market value or shared ownership. An extension and improvements to the village hall, improved car parking, a new burial ground and new allotments, transfer of assets from the current owners, the Gibbs estate, into community ownership, namely the village stores and post office building, land for allotments, and about 5 acres of undeveloped land. Access to new open spaces on land that is currently privately owned. A 10% biodiversity gain. Capital grants improvements to the school and recreation ground. Retained rights for villagers to make use of the Barley Mow car park. Land for a new footpath and cycle path to Long Wittenham. The allotment site will comprise a new surgery, along with a new extension to the village hall, and 14 new homes, mainly 1 and 2 bedrooms, including single-storey maisonettes and bungalows, all arranged around 2 distinctive public spaces. A small public square is proposed, overlooked by a short terrace of 6 homes, the extended village hall and the new surgery. The partly paved and gravelled square will be shaded by tall, growing trees, with parking restricted to maintain an attractive social space immediately outside the new entrance to the village hall. Whilst the extended surgery roof offers both shelter and secure cycle storage at the bus stop, along with ample scope for bench seating in this area. A new main access is proposed off Abingdon Road just before the bus stop and offers good visibility in both directions and an appropriate location for the surgery entrance off the highway. Discreet landscaped parking is provided opposite the new surgery, screened by mature hedgerows and new tree planting, and additional disabled spaces and covered cycle storage is provided at the entrance itself. New homes are set around a small green, which is edged with trees and a strong planted border, screening the space from the main entrance into the site. The homes here are a mixture of 2 and 3 bedroom semi-detached properties, generously spaced to allow views and planting between. The westernmost homes are 2-bedroom bungalows also overlooking the green. To the rear of the new homes, a buffer of strip allotments is proposed, accessed from a continuous gravelled path, leading to a new community orchard to the west of the site and joining footpaths east-west across the site. North of the allotments, the present line of walnut trees planted for the millennium are retained, with the tree line area managed as wildflower grassland, whilst the present cropped field beyond will be managed so as to increase biodiversity. Mature hedges are retained on the western side of the meadow, with corners planted up with blocks of mixed native woodland tree species, providing additional amenity and increased habitat value. Existing boundary rights of way are all retained, with additional mown paths around the meadow, providing greater connectivity and wider benefit, with scope for bench seating to be provided within the space. Generally, the new dwellings adopt a rural appearance, using traditional materials of brick and timber and clay, albeit offering more modern layouts and features such as larger doors and windows for maximum natural light. The village hall will be provided with a new generous entrance with new disabled facilities and a new meeting room, leaving the existing smaller function room to be used as a generous foyer and buffet area immediately next to the kitchen. There will be improved access from the new room to a secure courtyard, and from here users will be able to access the green space to the north of the village hall for outdoor events in the summer, whilst also making use of the public square to the front. The surgery has been designed to accommodate the practice requirements whilst providing a sense of enclosure to the public square. A single-storey building form, clad in timber weatherboarding, sets the surgery apart from the dwellings, whilst ensuring it doesn't dominate its neighbours. The paddock site remains a simpler proposal overall, the development of just 3 new homes, along with new public parkland that includes a new cemetery and lich gate, approached across a grassed parking area. Smaller numbers here allow us to treat road design in a much looser fashion, and the proposals loosely echo the organic growth of a typical farmstead. A compact arrangement of distinct building forms of farmhouse and barn, which reflect the nature of existing properties on either side of the site. Landscaping is also less formal and evokes a rural parkland along the eastern footpath, whilst the westernmost part of the site provides a new cemetery with screened parking. The existing frontage hedgerow is managed to provide the necessary sightlines, whilst retaining the characteristic landscaped boundary. Additional hedging stock will be planted to the rear, will maintain hedge width and density, whilst the established tree line will be extended. Much of the site will remain as open parkland, with additional specimen trees being planted along with a community orchard over simple wildflower grassland. Considering footpaths at an early stage ensures the sites don't become isolated from the village, but remain embedded with the pedestrian routes and paths that tie the village together as a whole. To the east of the paddock site, the public footpath fence line will be completely removed, leaving the path edge open to the site, whilst additional paths through the site would link public footpaths with the burial ground to the west. On both sites, we have sought to enhance the key qualities of their existing character to provide a high-quality landscape setting for the new homes and public amenity spaces. For more information and to leave your comments on this NDO, visit the Burcot and Clifton Hampden Parish Council website at www.cliftonhampden.org.uk or a paper copy at the Clifton Hampden stores. We would also like your comments on the draft neighbourhood plan, which is being held in parallel. You can comment on the NDO and the neighbourhood plan in the following ways: online at www.cliftonhampden.org.uk, by email consultationbach@gmail.com, in writing to Burcot and Clifton Hampden Parish Council, consultation, Clifton Hampden Stores, High Street, Clifton Hampden, OX14, or in person at either of the consultation events being held on Wednesday 31st of August at 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. and Saturday the 3rd of September at 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Comments must be submitted by 5 p.m. on 29th of September 2022. Once the consultation has closed, your comments will be considered and, if required, the NDO will be further amended. It will then be submitted along with the draft neighbourhood plan to South Oxfordshire District Council, who will then conduct a 6-week statutory consultation under Regulation 23. Subject to any further amendments, the NDO will be presented for public examination by an inspector in early 2023. After that, the NDO will be put to referendum and settled by a simple majority of those who vote. If passed, the NDO will then be adopted. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to receiving your comments.